Hello everyone, Becca here. I am new to the whole YouTube video recording, uploading thing, so hopefully I can do this without too much issue. What I'd like to do is every Friday after our community day, I would like to come home and record for y'all what I did in class. I know as tutors it can be easy to get in the habit of using the same ideas over and over and over again and think, man, I really need something new and something fresh. So I'd like to do that for you guys. I know it is crazy far into the school year. I think we only have, 8 weeks left? But my heart was calling me to do this, so we are going to give it a whirl. Also, if y'all have any input or if it's helpful, please let me know. And if it is, I'll keep this going. And also, please share your ideas with me because that's also helpful to me. I also need new ideas to keep things light and fresh. So let's get into this. I'm going to go right into new grammar. Real quick though, I am going to show you my board. Most people use the trifold shower board. This is the same thing. I just used poster board from the dollar store. I used white. And then inside I used black. And I do that so that I can use both sides. Shower board, I think you can only use one. This you can use two. And the black is fun. You can use neon markers, neon chalk markers. And then you can use regular dry erase markers on the white or the chalk markers. So it's nifty to have both sides available to you. All right, so let me jump into new grammar. This was week 16 for us. I tutored journeyman age, so that's ages 7 and 8 to give you an idea there. For history, it was tell me about immigrants coming to America. This is a pretty standard idea. I just go through and erase an important word each time. So we do go through and say it once together. We go through and sing it once together. So we have 5 times left. And each of those 5 times I'll erase an important word. When I get to it, they will fill it in, or an important date. And so by the end of it, we have several empty slots that they fill in and can sing it by themselves. And then for English, it was irregular verb tenses for the verb to shake. So this is also another standard idea, I'm pretty sure. You just get little Easter eggs. You can fill it with rice. You can fill it with small beans, anything that'll shake. And then you just tape it up. I keep a set of these in class. I think 10 of them. So I handed those out to them to shake, and so we went through and we just said it was kind of some rhythm to shake, shake, shakes, shook, shaking, shaken. And then we did some exercises with it. We did it a little fast, a little slow, and so that went by pretty fast. And then for Latin, we did John 1:3, et sine ipso factum est nihil, quod factum est, the English, and without him nothing was made that was made. We go through and say it once or twice, and then the other times I would do character trait call-outs. So I would say, okay, anybody wearing boots, say it with me this time. Anybody who's wearing stripes, say it with me this time. Anybody who had eggs for breakfast, say it with me the next time. So we go through and do it like that. And then the last time or two, I will go through and sing everything we've learned so far from John 1:1. And I've gotten written on my board. And we sing it to the tune of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. We heard about that at Practicum in our training. I did find a video on YouTube, but it was hard to locate, so in the next several days I would like to video me and my kids singing it along to the board so that hopefully it'll be a little bit easier to find for those who like that version. So anyway, that goes, and I'll sing it for you really quick. In principio erat verbum et verbum erat, apud Deum et Deus erat verbum, hoc erat in principio apud Deum, dum, omnia per ipsum factus sunt et sine, ipso factum est nihil quod factum, and then so on and so forth. So we'll add to it as we go along each week, so it will get a little longer each time, and then we'll go through and say all the English from John 1:1 to where we're at currently also. So that is Latin. For math, it is the area of a rectangle equals length times width, and so what I did is I actually have a small square dry erase board that I got from Target's dollar section. I think it was originally $3, and so I drew the square like they have. Can't see it right here. And I did the length on the bottom, and then I said, this is kind of a trick question, where is the width? And some of them said here, but some of them said no, it kind of goes back like that. And I was like, that's correct. And so I drew, on the board, I just drew dotted lines to make it a 3D type image, and put the length here and the width here. So we said it a couple times with a little rhythm, such as the area of a rectangle equals length times width. And then 2 or 3 times I did a math problem to show them how it worked. So I would say, okay, let's pretend this is 6 down here. And let's say this is 3 over here, the width is 3. How do we figure out the area of the rectangle? And so they would say the area of a rectangle equals length times width. And so they would multiply this and skip count. So you're also now adding in skip counting. So they would skip count 3 times, and 6, 12, 18. And then I would say, what if this one's 10 and this one is 5 over here? How do we figure out the area of the square? The area of a rectangle, sorry. The area of a rectangle equals length times width. And so they would do skip counting 10 5 times. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So it's 50 in there. So that was good. They got the rhythm, and then they also got to see the math in action that way. And then for science, it is, what are the first 4 elements in the periodic table by number, element, and mass? Mass is rounded. I printed these off from Pinterest. You can do that. And then just yesterday, I got this set of cards in the mail. It's all of the periodic table cards, and it does have the 4 new ones that have also, come out. So they look like this. And then on the back, it does have the number. So we went through and set it once or twice, and then I went through and played headbands. I'm the one who did it. You can also hand a card to each of the students, describe the picture to them, and then they can guess it. So I would just mix them up and then hold it up like this and without looking at it. And they would describe the picture, and then I would guess what the element was. So we did that for this time. And I'll probably keep using these for the rest of the time and just switch off headbands or letting them build the periodic table that way. And that goes by pretty fast. Also, we sang the song through twice. There's a fun song. I cannot remember who it's by. I think it's been around for a long time, but it's the hydrogen and helium and lithium, beryllium, da 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 da, and so on and so forth. And we'll just add to that each week as well. It's catchy and it's fun, so I figured that would be a really good option to add on with the headbands. So that was science. And then Bays for geography. I used CC Happy Mom a lot last year. I have only used her once this year for this week, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But she went through and she did the Bay song, so Down by the Bay where the watermelons grow. She used that tune to do the bays. And then I also added in using a dry erase marker. I wanted them to use their own maps, but many of them forgot their maps. And so I just had them each come up and take a turn and wipe this off. And so as they go through the bays, we sing the song, and they also connect everything together. So it would go, the Chesapeake Bay, Swift Maryland, the Hudson Bay in Canada, San Francisco Bay in California, Puget Sound, Washington State, Pamlico Sound in North Carolina. And as you can see, it makes a bow tie. So they kind of get that visual imagery there, but then they also get the song. So you cover your auditory learners and you cover your visual learners that way. And I'll probably keep doing this because I really like that they can kind of connect everything and see it. They can see where it's located, but then they're also getting a fun song with it too. So we did that 7 times for this week. And then we have our, also for the periodic tables, I use this in class. I took it with me just to show them how we read it. We actually start here and read across, same as we do. It's just there's kind of space in between right now. So I did show them that as well, and I'll use that each week that we're doing the periodic table. And then for timeline, this one's pretty standard. I think a lot of us use the same ideas, but we'll go through and we'll say it one time with each of the cards, and then I'll lay them all out and we'll sing it through, so that's 2 times down. The last 5 times, I will take 2 cards away and we'll sing it, and they'll have to fill it in, and I'll put them back down as they sing them. I'll take several cards away, they will go through and sing it, and I'll put them down as they sing it. I'll take all the cards away so they have no help visually, and they'll sing it that way. I'll mix them up, and they'll have to put them in order, or I'll give one to each of the kids, and the 8th child will have to put the others in order. I will also hide them around the classroom, have the kids close their eyes, and each one can go get one, and then the 8th student will put them in order, and that's kind of my standard for that. If anybody has any other ideas, please share them. I would love some new ideas for that, so thank you in advance. And I think that is all of the new grammar. Let's see how much time I have left. And then next I generally do presentations, and for that, that's pretty self-explanatory too. I do use an app for a timer. I just find timing it kind of helps when the kids can hear the timer go off. They kind of know to cut it short. So I have an app that has multiple timers on it. I have one set for 2 minutes. That's how much time they get on the presentation. And then one for 30 seconds. That's how much they have for questions. The other 30 seconds to equal to 3 minutes is generally them getting up and getting set up and then taking their stuff and sitting back down. I also hand out 2 popsicle sticks per student. That equals how many questions they get for the entire period. So if they have a question, they will hold up one of the popsicle sticks. When that question has been answered, I will take it, or one of the other parents in the classroom will take it, and then they're down to 1 question. And that way questions don't drag out for a long, long time. If they do have more questions, they can ask it at lunch, or if we're down a few students due to sickness or traveling or whatever and there's extra time, I will allow extra questions that way. But between the timer and the popsicle sticks, that helps things move fairly quickly and smoothly. And then science is pretty self-explanatory. I do use a lady on CC Connected, R.R. Ruggles. I will use her tutor script for science as my basis to jump off of, kind of a guide. I do not read it verbatim, and I always reword things and do it according to my class. So that's been helpful, and I am thankful for her work in that. And then art is also just what the book says. And with my kids, I did give them just the 4 options. We did Wyeth, so I had my artist card that I took to class with us too. And here is the page that they did for Wyeth. And you get 4 options. I did only let them choose from those 4 options, because if I let them have free reign, then usually other characters from, say, Minecraft or whatever else might come into the pictures, and that's not what we're trying to do. So anyway, I try to keep it to what they are allowed, or if it's free reign, I will try to give them a specific idea, and you can choose from these options. So this week's was a shed in a barren field, a seashell by a rock, on the beach, a fence post or wild bird perch on a leafless dry branch. So we did go through, and I drew a little picture on the whiteboard for them to see, and then they went out and sketched it really briefly and then started painting. So that was art. And then for review, we played Fast 5, or my version of Fast 5. I vaguely remember it from practicum. And you have just a deck of playing cards. You divide the class into 2 teams, Team A and Team B, and I set a timer for 30 seconds. So they each get 30 seconds, or not 30 seconds, 3 minutes. They get 3 minutes each team. And you go through your weeks. You start 7 weeks in advance and try to get through as many pieces of information as you can. If you get through a week and you still have a little time left on the clock, then you can move on into the next week. It worked out really good. Each team got 3 turns each. And also, if the team not answering questions at the time, if they sit quietly for the 3 minutes, then they automatically earn 5 points. So that worked really, really well. Also, as you go through, for each piece of information, you flip a card over. So if we did history, then when we got done, I'd flip it. If they did Latin, I'd flip another card once they finished, and so on and so forth. So by the end, however many cards you have, you add those up. Now for easy counting, I just go 2 to 9, obviously. Jack, kings, and queens, count for 10, aces 11, jokers 12. So for me, that was just easy. And then one of my parents in the class would add it up as I moved on to the next table to continue on with the week. So we got through 9 weeks of material in 30 minutes. I have never gotten through 9 weeks of material in 30 minutes, so needless to say, this is my new favorite game. And the kids did really enjoy it as well. So anyway, I think that is all I have for you right now. I will try to get back on here next week and let you know what I do for week 17. And thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys later.